Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. And it's Monday evening. It is, what time is it? It is just after, it's just coming up for 8 o'clock. And it's, meltdowns are still going on, I see. But there is some, it is, what time is it? There is some football to talk about tonight. Regarding Celtic, and you never know, we might listen into a little bit of a meltdown later on, but let's jump into the comments section first of all. Comment section has been going absolutely wild, as they say, even at the Kaiser. Let me just scroll back up to the top. Just can't get enough. There's Big Des, Stephen Johnson's in the house, Dave Morton's in the house. I'll come back to you all in a minute. I wanted to talk about a couple of Celtic players that have been given permission to talk to other clubs. One that we knew about was Stephen Welsh. That was highlighted a couple of weeks ago that Stephen Welsh wanted to leave. He was going to have a conversation with Brendan Rodgers, and he wanted to have a conversation about getting some more game time, because the only time that Stephen Welsh was getting any kind of game time at all, it wasn't even getting game time, was he? He was in the squad for the Champions League. And he's had one or two games throughout the season, but he's at the age where, after signing a 5-year contract just last year at Celtic, he's at the age where he thinks he should be playing a lot more. And ultimately, if you were in the same position, you would be wanting to play football as well. So Stephen Welsh has been given the green light to go out on loan. There is a club that's been making inquiries back in the summer and coming up for the winter to take him on loan. Dane Murray is another that's been allowed to go out on loan. I thought that he might have got in and around the first team a bit more than what he has, but he's also getting to go out on loan, which is good, as they're not getting sold, they're just getting out to go on loan on game time. When you look at the fact that Brendan Rodgers has, we'll look at Welsh's predicament, let's say. Welsh's predicament. I mean, we know that we want to have two players for each position. We've got Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, Liam Scales, and Mark Nobrovsky. But Celtic bringing back Dane Murray from Queen's Park. Murray is going to go back out on loan to a higher level. It's like he's going to go into down England somewhere. He might go down to England, but who knows? With the transfer window opening, yes, the transfer window does open in 1 day, 3 hours and 57 minutes and 36 seconds. The transfer window opens. Does it slide open? Because it slams shuts, doesn't it? We're going to get into this conversation again. I mean, does the transfer window just slide open? It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it slam shuts. The window slam shuts. Does it just peek open? That's me. Anyway, Dane Murray has been on loan at QPR. Yeah, he's been on loan at QPR. I forgot about that. Kaiser even. And he was doing well at Queen's Park. But it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, when you look at, is he going to make the first team? It's burst open, Baz. It bursts open. Does it burst open? Because there's never. See, then you've got us into a completely different narrative for the video. I mean, if it bursts open, you would expect a lot of action. Hurrah! The window's open. Hey! But it's never like that, is it? It opens and everybody's going, who are we buying? We'll wait and see. Play the waiting game. You don't want to act too fast. You don't want to act too fast, because somebody might come in and try and gazump you. We'll wait till the last minute, and then it slams shut, and you go, damn, we missed it on that player. Oh, South Korean lads. The Hunts think the transfer window is flavoured. They must do. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section after talking about that transfer model, the Tierney one. everyone's saying that the Tierney one is a pre-contract agreement in January. But will they get... I mean, I really thought, after being playing in the La Liga, I honestly thought that when he came to the end of his time at Arsenal, I really thought that he would go back to Spain, because when you listen to Kieran Tierney and what he said about his time in Spain, he loved it. He loved the food, he loved the lifestyle, and I mean, he's 27-year-old. You would think that he's got at least one big move left in him. Do you know what I mean? He could have had his pick of teams anywhere around Europe, but it looks like he is coming back to Celtic. So I'll take a little drink to that. The fact that he is coming back to Celtic, it looks like that he's going to sign that pre-contract agreement, and then it's just whether Arsenal go, look, we're just going to rip up your contract, or if Celtic are going to pay a little bit of cash to get the player in. I wonder, they're in Baz is a cross-dresser from the waist down. It says Patman 67. I'd like to think that I was Patman, but I'm not. Imagine subscribing to the channel just to be able to get that. Just subscribe to the channel just to be able to get that one comment in. Jesus. Honestly. It's a nonsense channel. Yeah, I'm not even going to delete the comment. It's good, because you were about to get bored. You were about to get booted off the channel, Patman. But it's cool. You got your little minute of fame. A cross-dresser for the waist down. How can you be a cross-dresser for the waist down? I do sometimes sit in my jammy bottoms in the morning when I record the video. Not for the lives. Bugger that. Big flip-flop is still game. It's still game with the Bulldog. Where's the comment? Carly is a way back up. It was Patman 67. I'm not too sure if he is a Celtic fan or not, but he's got Patman 67 Celt on his. Lennon Miller would never sign for Sevco. Nah, Lennon Miller's never signing for them. Anyway, talking about them. Sounds like a Gers fan, but just leave it to him. I'm naked for the waist down every life, said Kaiser. That wouldn't surprise me. Oh, Jesus. Baz protests too much. I've got my... will you even fucking see it? Oh, that's Finger the Crocodile. Oh, Jesus. Right, crocodile. Oh, he needs the crocodile shoes. Definitely a Celtic fan, Baz. Lennon Miller's a Celtic fan. Highly unlikely he would go to them. Yes, and whilst we're on about them, how cold is it over there? We know that it's minus 14, but they don't seem to think it's cold, do they? I just press this, and this, and then this.
Is it cold? I don't think it's cold.
Well, through here it is. It's absolutely freezing, and the wind being horrendous. Apart from that, all right. Just keeping busy, DJing a lot over Christmas period.
It's minus 14. What are you talking about? Is it cold? Well, no, it's cold. I heard jingle bells when you stood up there. You might have heard jingle bells, but that's probably for the selection boxes that's behind me. Minus 26 by February. Put money on it. It says Angling Ayrshire. Right. Anyway, let's get back to Celtic content, because I could see that the comment section is just full of nonsense tonight. Full of nonsense. Celtic have been linked with a player. Celtic are interested in Andy Irvine from West Ham. I think that one's a bit of a nonsense one. I don't I can't see it. Andy Irvine, did he not play for Hearts at one time? Here comes Celtic are interested in West Ham fringe star Irvine, and Rogers is wanting to add to his ranks in the January transfer window. Irvine came through the ranks at Hearts. Yeah, I was right. Before taking an unconventional route, moving to Germany, the third division. The third division in Germany. And then he moved to Austria on loan. And then he signed for West Ham in 2023. West Ham's first team for the start of the season. He's made 6 appearances. Seriously? Is he Scottish? Is that the only reason we're going for him? I can't see that happening, really. I just think it's a nothing story. I think it's a nothing story, and then it goes on to say the Hoops are also linked to Kieran Tierney. It could be a fairy tale return to Parkhead through Nico Kuhn's electric form, and the Green and White Hoops has seen him touted. Fuck off! Oh my goodness! Who's writing this pish? Nico Kuhn is never going to Fulham. Jesus. Andy Irvine played Scotland rugby. Jesus. Andy Irvine is a Hun. He's not coming to us. Rebel67, how are you doing? How's your videos doing? Keep up the good work. Here's to the meltdowns. Yeah. Baz, we need you at left back. I'm not going at left back. I'm far too old for that nonsense. But anyway, predicted text. I don't like me. Yeah, I mean, there's not much. It's the night before Hogmanay, and people are kind of struggling to get good Celtic stories. I mean, I can't see Nico Kuhn wouldn't, for one. He's never going to get in. If you're Nico Kuhn, you're playing in the Champions League with Celtic, and then Fulham come knocking at the door, and you're thinking Celtic or Fulham, right? I mean, Fulham are sitting 8th in the English Premiership. Fair play to them. They're sitting above Aston Villa. They're sitting above Tottenham. They're sitting above Man United. That's no big deal, is it? Because Man United are in absolute free fall. I mean, Man United are just terrible. I mean, they're the biggest. I mean, Fergie must sit and go, what happened to my team? But I mean, Fulham are never going to win anything. Playing at Fulham, are you really going to get into the German national team? No, because one, you're not going to get playing in Europe. You're not going to get playing at the highest level. And Nico Kuhn wants to play in the Champions League, and he wants to play for Germany. He's not going to get picked up. I mean, look at Fulham's last results. They've lost the last 4 games, and they've won 1. No, they've drawn the last 4 games, sorry. They've drawn 4 games and won 1. Nico Kuhn. Celtic would never sell Nico Kuhn to Fulham anyway. Never sell Nico Kuhn to Fulham. I don't get that. They won't sack him, even though Scout 20 now they're deluded. KT doesn't get his bucket at Asda. It's too expensive. He gets it at Costco. Oh, Jesus. Madhouse, CCZ, Kuhn and Kyogo are all leaving before the Huns game, according to the Scottish media. Wilson QW, what do you expect? I mean, it's the narrative for the Scottish media to try and do something. And it's a narrative that maybe worked back in the 1990s when there was no social media and there was no YouTube and, you know, there was no outlets for fans to get other information and share information. And the Scottish media are still at it. They still want to have that narrative of, you know, let's put a story out there. It may not be the whole truth of a story, but I mean, it's one of those ones where someone heard someone say that there's a club interested in a player. Now, if everybody that Celtic were interested in was to make headlines, you would be able to write an encyclopedia. I mean, if you can imagine the number of players that gets passed through Brendan Rodgers' desk on a yearly basis, there's bound to be upwards of 40 to 50 players gets looked at by Celtic. There has to be at least a minimum of between 40 and 50 players, and maybe even more than that. You could probably say even up to 100 players, and then they narrow it down to the player profile. Ange Postecoglou spoke about this a lot. I mean, what goes on in the background, and didn't get me started about sports science, because I think that the nonsense from across the road and about sports science this week has been absolutely fantastic. But it's the truth. I mean, sports science does have a lot to do with it, and they look at the fitness. It's not so much, it comes under sports science, but they'll look at the fitness of the players and then the work ethic, and then there's all these other things that will come into it. And then that's when they narrow down if it's a potential player to hand over to Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers won't see the complete dossier of every single player that gets looked at by Celtic. He'll get the ones that's narrowed down into the potential that can actually make us better at the right cost. I just think that it's madness that, you know, every sports science FC, it's just shite journalism. And it is what it is. It is what it is. The thing is, I can't, yeah, no, because the Diet Huns are getting relegated. I seen that they cancelled Hogmanay. I thought the Highbees were maybe celebrating too much, so they were cancelling it because of that. No, I've never heard nothing about James McGrath. I've seen somebody mention that earlier, but I've not heard nothing of that. It's the time of year where there'll be various names bandied about, and in there somewhere will be the player that Celtic are really looking at. There'll be umpteen players round about that Celtic aren't even looking at. I mean, Brendan Rodgers says he said it before in previous windows, if he was to comment on every single player that was linked with Celtic, the press conference would go on for about 2 hours and they would never get talking about anything else. I'm interested in buying a house and I've got money from some posh report. What are you talking about? I'm going to stop reading the comments. That result doing £18. The Motherwell result, we can talk about the Motherwell, can't we? Since we beat them, it's not up to everyone. It's not for everyone to beat them, is it? But Motherwell goal should have stood, I see, and it was disallowed. Premiership score. I always get a laugh when this one site puts up. They put up every single day Celtic considering another player. You've got to go halfway down the story. According to the boot room, Celtic are lining up to sweep Burnley central midfielder Josh Brownhill at the end of 2024-25 campaign. I seen a list of the 83 players. Now, put this into perspective, right? Put this into perspective. There are 80, I'm sure it was 83, it's either 73 or 83 players. Don't quote me on the exact amount, but I'm sure it was 73 or 83, I can't remember. Players that are able to talk to other clubs in the English Premiership in 1 day and 3 hours and 42 minutes time. 72 players in the English Premiership are able to talk to other clubs under the freedom of movement. Do they still call it the Bosman? They still call it the Bosman? But anyway, Celtic are going to get linked with, I reckon, about 5% of those players. So it's just going to make headlines over the next couple of weeks. I need to try and find that article again and go through it. Oh, I seen it on my phone, wasn't it? It was on my phone. I need to check that. Anyway, should we have a little bit of, let me just see. Since it is coming up for the end of the year and it's just a nonsense video, we've done the transfer bit, we're 20 minutes in. Should bring back Larson. Take VAR to court and sue them for match fixing. Yeah, no. 27 hours, Baz. 27 hours? William? 27 hours for what? It's 1 day. It's 1 hour and 1 day, 3 hours. It's the countdown timer. That's what it says. I'm not doing it in hours. Often find myself giggling at Tony L comment the Belgian waffled about. I don't even know what he talks about half the time. iVox attendance is a lottery. I'm going for 35,000. Anyway, since it is coming up for the end of the year, and it's a time that we should look back at, and should I do it tonight? Yeah, because I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. I'm not going live tomorrow night. So yeah, this will be the last live of the year at night, the last nighttime live, because I'm not going live at 8 o'clock on Old Year's night. I know you'll all be sitting bored in the house, but then again, I probably will. We'll see. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look back at what the channel has achieved before we listen to do a live hack. We are going to do a live hack. Oh, I've just found a Boydie one. Oh, I'm going to have to open up this one. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to have to open this and then silence
Well, hello and
oh man, we're going to bolt. Chris Boyd. Oh my goodness, he needs to get that his implants redone. That's a rather unfortunate side picture that I'm seeing of Chris Boyd, and his implants need redone, let's say the least. But anyway, I was at match day. I visited hospitality at Celtic. Fog. Oh, that's that one. No, so I'm going to go a run through. Oh, no, I'm not going to bother. Just put it this way. It's been a fantastic year for the channel. It has been an absolutely, and I'm over the moon with what the channel has done in December alone. I do talk to another YouTuber that is not football related, and he's got about 78,000 subscribers on his channel, and we talk about YouTube all the time and things and how it runs. He does over 1 million views a month. I'm trying to hit 16 million for the end of this year. No, that's lifetime. Yeah, if we hit, we'll have hit. No, just this 2024. I'll get the right one up, Buzz. Yeah, we're on 5.5 million for the year. We got 4.4 million views last year. We're on 5.5. We've hit over the 5.5, so I'm more than happy with that. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. KT won't be in time for the Huns game. It says, chill pill, happy new year. Boys 67. Baz, I need to get my daily of 135. Yeah, I probably will be live tomorrow night. Yeah, we'll do a live at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, because I'll not be going out until later on. Yeah, cheers, Rebel Celtics, Rebel 67. It's hard work, but it's. I mean, there's other channels that must do around about the same, but I'm really, really over the moon with the way that the channels went this year, and and the way that the subscriber count is, because the subscriber count, if you haven't noticed, had taken a jump tonight again. Also, we are sitting at 20,508. It just feels like yesterday that we hit the 20,000 subscriber mark, and now we've hit 20,500. So I suspect by the end of January, and the slam shut, fucking dog's just shit itself. By the slamming shut of the transfer window, we'll be at 21,000. Which I think is unbelievable. I do think it's unbelievable, considering that I don't use other social media platforms to really promote the videos or the channel. I know there's other podcasters out there that are heavily involved in the land of Twitter, and they've obviously grown their channel for that, but I just want to do it organically on YouTube, because let's face it, this is where the community is. And there was a funny comment, whereas I'm not going to have to go right back the comments. It was Big Des that made the comment, wasn't it? Let me try and find this comment. 2 seconds. No, it's not going to show me. It's not going to go right back to the window. It's not going back to the start. Like you're saying, players that can be signed before January, the club can't announce it until the player signs on the 1st of January. There we go. Yeah, because that's what Ange Postecoglou does, doesn't it? YouTube chats are better. Yeah, they are that. They're way better. Next milestone, 67,000. Craig Young. When I look at this, you've got me talking about that now. When I look at how many people are unsubscribed, I'm going to go in the last 28 days. when you look at how many people are unsubscribed that watch subscription status, is that one? Which one is it? It's not going to let me do it because of all the windows open. But anyway, there was about 60,000 people that weren't subscribed to the channel. And if everyone subscribed to the channel, we would be up there. Anyway, let's listen to a bit of Chris Boyd meltdown. Philip Clement, players are letting him down, but he's get off the hook by sports scientists.
Super Sunday in the SPFL Premiership yesterday with myself, Roger Hanna, and Sun Sports Chris Boyd. Boydie, I am just relieved to see you today. Nothing to do with Rangers' last two results. I'm just thinking, after the turkey, the mince pies, and the selection boxes, I presumed your sports scientist would say you were too tired for the show.
Hey, fat man!
I've got a busy day ahead as well, Roger, to be fair. But I'll just get this out the road this morning and then I'll go on the rest of my day. I've got to go and get more shot ahead of New Year. The first thing he's done, both times he's used it as a, when you go back to Czerny in the European game, and then you go back yesterday, the times he's used sports science as an excuse in terms of the numbers and the minutes that players have used, he's went to them at half time. It's not as if it's, you've left them out and he's went to them at half time whenever he's needed a result. That team yesterday was absolutely baffling for me, based on, as we said, sports science telling you when you could get injured. When the bigger picture for me would be that, Rangers, in terms of the players that have been out this season and how long it's taken them to get back to fitness, I would concentrate on that. That's what I would concentrate. That's their job. Not telling a manager, by the way, this one could potentially get injured. Because you can get injured at any time.
When you played, Boydie, I'm thinking some of the managers you played under, Walter Smith, Gordon Strachan, Steve Clark.
Come on, man. Oh, going back the years.
Billy Davis. Was there ever an instance a sports scientist went to them and said, listen, I think Big Boydie's a bit tired, should we leave him out?
He's a bit fat would have been the comment. And the sports scientists should have said to their managers, when is he going to score against Celtic? When's Boyd going to ever score against Celtic?
If they did, what would the reaction have been from some of those managers?
The ones you mentioned there, fine, fair enough. But I'm going to go back to, Bobby Williamson was obviously my first manager. But the one after that...
There was no sports science around then.
...was arguably the one that the change was starting to come in terms of sports science and the heart rate monitors. And by the way, as I said, there is a place for it. Jim Jeffries, you should be doing this, you should be doing that.
Nothing to lose by giving this information. Surely...
Do you know what? I would maybe consider doing this today. Because of the effort they have to put in. But at Fir Park for a number of years now, sorry, you can pronounce it. That's what I usually use Faddy for.
The Wanda Maswanisi?
No, the other one.
Apostolos Stomatolopoulos?
There we go.
What the heck are they talking about?
That striker. There was definitely, he hit the top of the ball and went through, and that's what happens when you go to ground. The Czerny one was another talking point. Celtic in recent times, if you take the Scottish Cup final and you take the League Cup final, they've caused Celtic problems, but ultimately Celtic came out on top. Celtic find a way to win games of football. You go back to the must-win, shall we say, the 3-3 at Ibrox. Rangers, they find a way to get back into the game and they don't get beat at home. But it was a must-win for Rangers that day. Celtic found a way not to get beat. So Brendan Rodgers and Celtic have the upper hand in this fixture in recent times, and Rangers are going to have to find a formula to come up to cause Celtic problems, because you look at Celtic, especially, and you can only judge it on the last. If you take the cup final there, I felt as if Rangers threw everything they possibly could at Celtic. Celtic were below par. Listen, you can go on about refereeing decisions and make excuses for that, but
let's face it. Let's talk truth here, right? And let's talk reality. Celtic in the cup final were way off the mark the first half. They never played like the way that they normally play. When you look at the Celtic that played at Hampden against Aberdeen, and then the Celtic team that played the first half of the cup final against the Sevconians, it was two different teams. if you look at the Celtic team that's going to turn up at Ibrox on Thursday, they'll be right up for it.
It's, as I said, if you take the game of football as such, I think Rangers threw everything at Celtic and came up short again. Philip Clement has to find a team that's going to cause this Celtic team problems for a period of time within the match. It could quite easily have been, going back to that cup final when Rangers break away and there's not been a lot spoken about it. You're 1-0 up and then the 4-on-1 and there's a chance just to cut it back to put it in the back of the net. You've got to take those chances in these big games. But it wasn't to be for Rangers. And it'll be interesting, does it revert back to, the cup final team? Obviously, Balogun's out of that. Does he put Sterling in there?
Engels will play yesterday. Yesterday was excellent.
I'm saying that. Who is it, Scales or Trusty at centre-back? That's, so there might be a little dilemma there. In fact, I'm chucking another one in. Taylor or Valle as well. So it might not be as easy to pick, but you'd imagine it'll probably be Taylor because of, Valle played yesterday. And, Engels was, as you said there, excellent yesterday. But it's from Brendan Rodgers not looking at it saying, he's in bad form, I'm going to have to take him out. He's got a decision on what somebody that is on form, unless I'm going to have to pull him and have a difficult conversation with him. But, Maeda, he was a substitute yesterday, came on and scored. McGregor, as you said, substitute. Kyogo got a couple of goals. Celtic, they're in a strong position. I mean, there's no getting away from it. And an opportunity to come to Ibrox, win the game of football. And if you go back, you go back a week ago and you think to yourself, Rangers have got a chance of potentially taking this to 6 points if they win the game. They're now looking at, it could be 17 points. 17 points.
No manager, surely no Rangers manager can withstand that. If it goes to 17 on Thursday, Patrick Stewart, the new chief executive, Fraser Thornton, the new chairman, they will see a side of the Ibrox crowd that they haven't seen thus far.
I can't take much more of this. Oh man, I can't take much more. But we're going to need to listen to him. I'm just going to get some of the comments there. Baz, are you reading the comments? No big grab B. I wasn't. I'm watching Chris Boyd. Baz just twang his suspender belt. No square sausage, Mick. That was you. And I heard that it was. I heard that your missus does you wear a strap on too. Didn't want to tell everybody, mate, but that's the rumours. Coming straight off the Rangers rabble. We'll talk about the Rangers rabble. We'll have a little listening to them just before we head off.
The whole of December, really. I'm
not believing the point that, can we afford them, can we not afford them? Because it's not as if we say to them on 5:15, January the 2nd, right, Phil, there's your letters, and by the way, we'll have £7 million transferred into your bank tomorrow morning. Doesn't work like that, does it?
They've not got £7 million.
No, we sort of like give them a monthly wage until such times when he gets a job.
That means they're going to pay someone else again monthly, another manager that will pay monthly.
And then there's a percentage of what it should have been, type thing. So, say for talking sake, it's £4 million. I don't know, and because Beale got a job within a month, didn't he? He left us.
It was quick. Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, so I don't believe we gave him a full £4 million. No, we gave him probably a month's wages and probably, I don't know, 20% of £4 million.
There would have been an agreement in place if he found another job, how much he was going to get and stuff.
What's that? £700,000?
Possession in the game and
Stephen Robinson, would Derek McInnes, would Stuart Kettlewell do a worse job at Rangers right now than what Clement's doing, Stuart?
I think as a club and as a fan base, we've got to aim higher than that. But I don't. I'd like to see a British person come in. I don't really care if that's Scottish or English or non-Irish or Welsh. I don't really care because this Belgium, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese doesn't work because they'll go to their wee countries and get their players to come in. And it's Scottish.
There's like 40 million people in Spain, so I don't think that's a wee country.
Right. So 40 million people who don't play football, right?
I just wanted to show off my excellent knowledge. That was
Well, right. Well, here's a part for you. Of their 40 million, right?
It's the population in Spain is actually 56 million.
We'd probably go and sign 2 centre backs who can't play football.
yeah.
That's our luck. Well, yeah. Plus, he's unemployed in a nice way, right? He's got loads of money after probably getting paid off at Chelsea. Why not?
Well, because he knows that if he comes,
Why not approach him then?
Yeah.
Why not approach him? Why not approach him then?
I would be happy. I'd be happy if Rangers did, Kieran. But I can guarantee you, Rangers approach him and he goes, absolutely no chance because you can't give me any guarantees.
I feel at the moment Rangers are a bit like a poison chalice. I mean, the squad we have isn't great. The depth we have isn't great. We've not really looked after the youngsters, so they're sitting about doing nothing. I mean, look how many futures we probably wouldn't say put in jeopardy, but put a bit of a standstill to. Bailey Rice can't get a sniff. He's not going to do nothing just playing in the B team.
Oh, Jesus.
You've got Leon King. You can't tell me Leon King is any worse than the imposter of a half-time draw winner, Robin Proper. Like, it's just baffling.
Yeah, man,
But we don't utilise the youth, and when we do, we throw them in at the deep end. And when they do, it's not even when they're not able to play, but when they seem to have this spell where they lose confidence, they just get binned, put back into the reserves or sitting on the bench. You know, it's what I don't understand is
Rangers are still in existence. Anyway, a big shout out to Ian Roy, who's given us $5 in the super chat. So a big up Ian for the $5 in the super chat. And I'm going to go back into the chat just now, the live messages. Patman says Rangers don't use Catholics. I think they do. The majority of the team are probably Catholics now, and that's maybe why the meltdown. All right, Baz and Troops, merry meltdowns. It's phonetics. They've cracked it. The reason that they're dog meat is because of foreigners. Yes, it is because of foreigners. Right, I am going to. That old bear talks some shite on Sevco Radio. Oh, Jesus. We're going to we'll finish up listening to a little bit more. I'm not even going to do it because it's just getting boring. I'm actually starting to get bored of it. It's there'll be enough meltdowns. We're at the end of the year. Transfer news that's coming out of Celtic tonight is the fact that Stephen Welsh is going to be allowed to leave Celtic out on loan. Dane Murray's been recalled for QPR. He's going to get sent out also. He may even be sold. And there's Celtic have been linked with everybody that's near enough out of contract. The whole 73 people, I think it is, that are out of contract in the English Premiership. Yes, people who are just putting names to anybody now. And on that note, it's going to jump in and say big thank you to Chilpel, big thank you to Paul Baird, big shout out to Carly, a big shout out to Lorna, who is on holiday, big shout out to Kaiser, and I think that's all that's in the spanners. Big shout out to Square Sausage Mick, who cross dresses and his wife doesn't wear a strap on. Big shout out to Joseph Agnew, a big shout out to Rambo, a big shout out to Craig Young, big shout out to Jim F. We will be live tomorrow morning with a Celtic news update first thing in the morning, and then we're going to finish the year on a high. We are going to finish 2024 on a high. We will do one last live of the year. Yes, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Make sure you join us, and I'm sure that we'll have just a little bit meltdown, and we'll find out who's more blue than you, because you drink at the loo. I can't believe that. That has to go down as one of the best comments on one of the live hacks. Don't start that. I'm more blue than you. Anyway, the revelations. Rangers Radio on tonight. Is Rangers Radio on tonight? I have no idea. Go and check it out. Big shout out to Scott. Big shout out to Green White Glasgow. Big shout out to Big Des. He'll be there. Big shout out to Chilpel and everyone else who is on the chat this evening. We've hit a massive number of subscribers this year. 20,509. The channel is going absolutely fantastic, and it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible without every single person that watches this video and watches the whole videos. The subscriber count is absolutely amazing. The community that we have got. And the only downside is I haven't been able to get enough content done for, because I've been that busy with this. It's hard to try and get more content put out for just the membership area. But as of the 1st of January, that will all changed. Yes, because the missus has sat down and drawn out a plan for me working. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening. The Huns are agreeing with envy. They are that square sausage. Mick Hank says, Kaz, no, you're no. Anyway, Happy New Year to you, said Carly. We'll see how many people kicking around about tomorrow night. See how long we stay on for. And on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening to all the Celtic fans and everyone else who watches the video all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party.